A new head coach in Sean Sweeney, Nikola Vucevic, back in an Orlando uniform. Everything the front office did this summer traces back to one season of extreme, contradictory numbers. Speed and shot creation on one end, a fatal half-court stall, and a defense falling apart on the other. Before we look at the ultimate blueprint for next year, we're breaking down exactly what happened last season, position by position. Start with the biggest domino of the offseason before this one, the trade for Desmond Bane, made right before the year even opened. Orlando sent out 4 future first-round picks, a pick swap, and 2 rotation regulars in Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Cole Anthony. In return, they got one of the best two-way shooters in the league, a third scorer to go with Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner, and someone who finally fixed a real weakness from deep. The deal made national headlines the moment it happened. But landing that kind of scorer came with a cost. The front office now had 4 huge contracts to manage, and staying under the second apron of the new labor deal meant getting aggressive with the rest of the roster. Gary Harris, a fixture on the wing for years, left for the Milwaukee Bucks. He'd go on to average just 2.7 points in 13.8 minutes a night, shooting 41.2% from 3. Solid efficiency, but not enough to survive Orlando's cost-cutting. Corey Joseph, Orlando Robinson, and Trevelin Queen were also let go. To fill those gaps, Orlando brought in cheap, reliable pieces. Javon Carter, a veteran guard playing 16.4 minutes a night, put up 6.4 points and shot 36.3% from 3, giving the bench some defensive stability. Jamal Cain, who came over from New Orleans, added 5.4 points in just over 12 minutes on a highly efficient 38.4% from deep. The draft class stepped up too. Jace Richardson, 20 years old, averaged 4.4 points in under 11 minutes, shooting 47.3% from the field and 35.4% from 3. Noah Penda, 21, played 59 games at 12.8 minutes a night, adding 3.8 points and 3.2 rebounds with legitimate athleticism. Colin Castleton added size up front, Alex Morales added guard depth, and just like that, the roster had bodies again. The Bane trade was the big swing. Optimizing the rest of the roster right up against the cap was the quieter half of the story. Together, that's what last season actually looked like. Quick note on what's on screen. The numbers up top are NBA.com's league-wide rankings for each category. The number at the bottom is our own rating system, NBASDB, ranking the combined value of a team's top 10 players against the rest of the league. In the middle, you've got the full ability chart for the roster. Last season, Orlando's identity was built on a physical, disciplined half-court defense. This year's numbers tell a completely different story. The team's entire shape changed. The reason comes down to injuries. Banchero and Wagner rarely shared the floor, and the slow, physical half-court offense Orlando leaned on in years past simply wasn't available anymore. So the team changed its identity entirely. Look at the offensive rankings, and the shift jumps out. Pace went from dead last in the league, 30th, up to 14th. Assist rate climbed from 25th to 12th. The ability chart shows the same story on passing, up from 25th to 13th. A real jump for one season. Moving the ball and pushing the pace became the answer to a half-court attack that couldn't create on its own. The payoff offensive rating went from 27th, one of the worst marks in the league, up to 17th. Turnover rate improved too, from 20th to 12th. Playing that fast comes with a price. It cost Orlando the one thing that defined the team for years, that defense. Defensive rating fell from 2nd in the league all the way to 13th. Defensive ability score dropped from 4th to 17th. Playing faster meant getting back in transition less, and it showed. Opponent fast break points fell from 6th to 21st Street. Points allowed in the paint dropped from 2nd to 16th. Then add the injuries on top of that, depth got hit hard. The combined rating of the top 10 players fell from 5th to 20th. The starting 5 ranking dropped from 6th to 14th. Orlando survived the injuries by getting faster and sharing the ball more, and traded away the identity that got them to 3 straight playoff appearances in the first place. That's what the data actually shows. Look at where the points came from, and you see what changed and what didn't. Last year, the offense stalled out because of 2 things, pace and spacing. This year, with the pace turned up, transition possessions jumped from 26th in the league to 12th. And it wasn't just about running more. Points per possession in transition improved from 21st to 12th. The fast break became something they could count on every night, not just a byproduct of playing faster. With that shift, the old pick-and-roll heavy half-court game lost ground. Ball handler possessions dropped from 8th to 15th. Rollman possessions fell from 11th to 21st Street. Fewer structured sets, more improvisation. Even so, rollman efficiency actually climbed from 28th to 16th. Early offense was creating just enough of an edge to cash in. The real shift in the offense's identity, though, came from Desmond Bane. His outside shooting and constant off-ball movement redefined the whole perimeter attack. Handoff possessions went from 24th to 16th. Spot-up possessions climbed from 23rd to 13th, and the efficiency on both improved right alongside the volume. Off-screen offense saw the biggest jump of all, dead last in the league a year ago, up to 12th. Orlando stopped living off cuts to the rim and built a modern, movement-heavy attack instead. Even second-chance efficiency on putbacks jumped from 17th to 4th, a byproduct of all that extra spacing on the perimeter. But behind that progress, one weakness never got fixed: isolation offense. Efficiency there actually got worse, from 23rd to 27th near the bottom of the league. With Banchero and Wagner rarely both on the floor, defenses could load up on whichever star was left without much risk. Better spacing didn't matter once the offense broke down into one-on-one basketball in the half-court. Transition and perimeter offense lifted the overall scoring efficiency. But when the game slowed down, and it came down to one player creating in isolation, the offense had nowhere to go. That's the real picture of what happened on offense last season. One more note on how to read the individual chart. 3 layers, stacked. Pink means top 50 in the league. Yellow means elite, top 10. For a rough guide, 780 is roughly what you'd expect from a starter. 720 is the bar for a rotation player off the bench. At point guard, the story is Jalen Suggs finally becoming a real point guard. His overall score jumped from 785 to 824, well clear of the starter threshold. The real leap is in the pink zone he broke into for the first time. Playmaking used to be a weakness. This year, with the team playing faster, he became the primary ball handler. His assist score nearly doubled from 339 to 620, pushing him into the top 50 in the league. His assist average jumped from 3.7 to 5.5 a game. That's a genuine leap as a lead guard. His defense, already a strength, went to another level. Defense score rose to 889, keeping him elite. Steal score crossed 900, top 10 in the league. Off the bench, the picture's different. Jevon Carter, a new addition, posted a score of 666, short of the 720 bench target. But with Anthony Black shifting into more of a ball-handling role last year, the groundwork was already there for Suggs to take over as the primary point guard this season. Top 50 as a passer, top 10 as a defender, Suggs spent this year at the center of Orlando's backcourt, on both ends of the floor. Shooting guard is a two-man story: Desmond Bane's takeover and Anthony Black's breakout. Bane, in his first year after the trade from Memphis, was the only guy on this roster to play all 82 games, on a team hit hard by injuries everywhere else. He averaged 20.1 points a game, shot 39.1% from 3, and 90.8% from the free throw line, elite efficiency across the board. His overall score hit 842, well above the 780 starter mark. His scoring efficiency score sat at 696. With Banchero and Wagner missing chunks of the season, Bane was the one constant on the perimeter, every single night. The second half of the story is Black. Last year, he was still figuring out life at point guard. This year, he moved down into more of a shooting guard role. Freed from having to run the offense, his scoring finally opened up. Points per game jumped from 9.4 to 15.0. The numbers back it up everywhere. Scoring score went from 448 to 595. Three-point score climbed from 204 to 354. A big jump. His overall score rose from 767 to 785, putting a bench player into starter-level territory. Defense score of 782, steal score of 763 at 6'7". He's producing defensive numbers close to the top 50 in the league, locking down the perimeter alongside Suggs. Last year, the second unit at this position scored just 650 points on the chart, this team's clear weak spot. This year, with Bane at 842 and Black breaking through to 785, shooting guard turned into one of the deepest, most dangerous positions on the roster. Small forward, last season, comes down to one injury and one breakout: Franz Wagner's setback and Tristan Silva stepping in. Wagner ran Orlando's offense a year ago, posting an overall score of 877, one of the best wings in the league. This year, injuries hit hard. He played just 34 games. That absence, more than anything else, is why the half-court offense stalled and the team had no choice but to play faster. Even so, when Wagner was on the floor, the quality never dropped. His overall score sat at 819, clear of the 780 starter line. Scoring efficiency hit 713. His three-point shooting, long a weak spot, jumped from 29.5 to 34.5%. Even without a full season, he's still an elite two-way wing. With the top of the rotation missing, Silva stepped into the gap in his second year. He played 77 games, pushing his overall score from 710 to 760, clearing the 720 bench threshold. The improvement shows up everywhere. His three-point shooting climbed to 37.4%, pushing his three-point score up to 540. Defense score rose to 831. Both his shooting and his defense now sit near the top 50 in the league. Wagner, limited to 819 on the chart because of the injury. Silva, climbing to 760 and outgrowing his bench role. Between the two of them, Orlando held the line at small forward through a rough season. Power forward is Paolo Banchero's story, how far his game grew and how much the team leaned on him because of it. A year ago, injuries limited him to 46 games. This year, he played 72 and never left his role as the team's anchor. His overall score hit 844, well clear of the 780 line for a starter. With Wagner out for long stretches, defenses sent extra bodies at Banchero every night. His scoring average dropped from 25.9 to 22.2 points a game, and his scoring and outside shooting numbers took a hit. But he didn't just absorb that pressure, he grew into a completely different kind of player. Running more of the offense himself, his assists climbed to 5.2 a game. Taking on more of the physical load inside, his rebounding jumped from 7.5 to 8.4 a game. Rebound score rose from 670 to 706, just short of the 738 mark for the top 50 in the league. As a playmaker and an inside presence at the same time, he showed genuine versatility. Behind him, the depth chart got thin. Jonathan Isaac stayed on a tight minutes restriction because of his injury history. Rookie Noah Penda played 59 games, posting a score of 646, short of the 720 bench target, but still contributing 3.2 rebounds in under 13 minutes a night, using his size and mobility to fill gaps where he could. An 844 score up front, a bare cupboard behind him, that's the trade Orlando made at power forward. At center, it's Wendell Carter Jr. staying healthy and Goga Bitadze anchoring the paint behind him. Carter battled injuries a year ago. This season, he played 78 games and held down the starting 5 spot at center. His minutes climbed to 29.3 a night, and he put up 11.8 points, 7.4 rebounds, and shot 51.2% from the field. His overall score rose from 778 to 791, clearing the 780 starter threshold. He's not just protecting the rim either. He started stretching defenses out to the three-point line, shooting 31.9% from deep, genuine added spacing for the half-court offense. Defense score of 814, rebound score of 721, just shy of the top 50 cutoff, but a genuinely modern two-way center. Behind him, Bitadze anchored the second unit. His minutes dropped to 15.2 a night as the offense shifted styles, but he stayed efficient, holding a 722 overall score, clearing the 720 bench line. His rim protection, in limited minutes, was the standout. Rebound score of 785, well into the top 50 in the league. Block score of 717, a legitimate wall at the rim for opposing offenses. Carter, at 791, brought back health and stability. Bitadze, at 722, locked down the paint for the second unit. Between the two of them, the front court held up through a chaotic year. Here's the trade-off the numbers make clear. Orlando got more efficient by playing faster and sharing the ball more. And in the process, the team gave up the two things that defined it: defense and the ability to create in the half court. Pace jumped to 14th, assist rate to 12th, and offensive rating climbed all the way to 17th. But playing that fast came with a cost on the other end. Opponent fast break points fell to 21 stone. Points allowed in the paint dropped to 16th. And with Banchero and Wagner missing time together, isolation efficiency fell to 27th, exposing just how few answers this team had in the half court. Getting healthy again and going back to the old defensive identity won't be enough on its own, not after 3 straight first-round exits. Jamal Mosley built a system that leaned heavily on individual talent and instinct. What the front office wanted instead was structure, something repeatable, something the whole team could execute together. That's what hiring Sean Sweeney actually represents, a move away from relying on individual talent toward a team built on system and discipline. Sweeney spent years building elite defenses and detailed offensive structures in San Antonio. He's arriving with exactly the kind of framework this roster has been missing. And bringing back Nikola Vucevic 5 years after he left solves a real problem, a half-court offense that had nowhere else to turn. His passing and his outside shooting give Banchero and Wagner cleaner driving lanes, and give the whole half-court attack a way to actually function within a system. Banchero, Wagner, Bane, Suggs, 4 max-level contracts kept intact, while the front office navigated right up against the second apron to make it work. That's the rebuild in full. Less dependence on individual brilliance, more structure, more system, built around Sweeney's coaching and Vucevic's basketball IQ. That's the version of this team trying to take the next step in the East. Whether that system and that IQ are enough to finally get this roster out of the first round, that's the question Orlando has to answer this year. That's where we'll leave it for now. If you've got a read on how this roster fits together heading into training camp, we're always looking to hear it. And if this kind of breakdown is useful to you, sticking around for the next one helps more than you'd think.